Hello and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and EU4, the Cossacks playing as Russia. So you're going to notice really early on that my voice and the things that I am saying does not seem to correspond very well with the mouse. That is because, for God knows why, while I was editing these last batch of videos, I found that this particular episode, the audio was not working at all. I don't know why, because the others are totally fine, but this one, no. And I'd really rather not go all the way back and re-record 3 or 4 episodes of EU4, so I'm going to have to do some post-commentary here and try to read what I was doing at the time. There wasn't a lot, because as you can see, we're still in the middle of a regency council. Got at least like 6 years of that to look forward to. We're fabricating claims on our neighbors, but that's all we have really to look forward to at all for a while. We are about to finish this colony, though, in Berezov. There we go. 1 prestige for us. Now to pick where we're going to pick our next colony. We are going to end up going with this one, Mangazia, because it has 7 development and an estuary and not a lot of natives. Sounds perfect, so let's do exactly that. But yeah, I can go ahead and spoil it for you right now. We are not going to get out of our Regency Council by the end of this video. Next one we probably will, but this one, no. In case you didn't notice, we did just cycle missions because it was a conquest mission, and since we're in a Regency Council, we can't do anything with that for another 6 years anyway. We might as well cycle it and try to get something else, something more passive. And in the meantime, at this point, I'm considering the whole option of moving the capital to St. Petersburg and what would happen. I mean, we would gain 9 development and in Neva, and the capital would move over, and we gain 100 prestige. Not that we need 100 prestige, but whatever. All at the cost of 1,000 ducats. I mean, if we ever find ourselves with a glut of money, you know, that might be a worthwhile thing doing, but for now, meh. Can't rival Bukhara. Can't rival anyone we care about at this point. We did just get detected trying to fabricate a claim in the Teutonic Order, but we've kind of crossed that magical threshold where I don't think it's worth canceling and restarting, so we'll just suffer through the slower fabrication time if we have to. But anyway, yeah, so what do we do? I just sort of sit here and try to guess what's going on, or do I make conversation? Do I make this video a little bit more interesting if I can? The Great Synod. Do we gain patriarch authority or lose it and gain a stability? I like stability. We'll pick that up. Perfect. So of course we have to pick a new advisor because that one died. We're going to go with the diplomatic reputation guy, I'm pretty sure. Yes, we are. Yep, there you go. Confirmed. I'm not an idiot. I do remember this correctly. So perfect. I think I make conversation. I think I just sort of talk to you guys, all willy-nilly. Be like, hi, my name is Pravus, this is my life, you know? We're going to improve our relations with Poland and Bohemia, because I got the notification that our alliances are becoming kind of tenuous at best, and I don't feel like losing our alliance for stupid reasons. So we're going to improve relations with both Bohemia and Poland for a little while. So yeah, I guess I just talk to you guys. Tell you stories. Tell you a little bit about myself, you know? Like, for example, did you know that I was an RA? Sure. I mean, I'm sure I got plenty of crazy stories I could talk about from that experience, you know? That was great. For those of you who don't know, an RA is a resident advisor, typically in a college dorm setting. And if you still don't know what that means, then that means you've probably never been to college. Either because that was never something that interested you, or you are still working your way up toward that, I don't know. You know, that's all viable options. Maybe you're never going to go to college. Maybe it's just, you know, I don't know. Well, either way, that's what a resident advisor are. It's kind of the glorified community organizer slash babysitter slash narc of the dorm environment. You know, the university is like, hey, we got to have somebody keeping an eye on these students, making sure they know all the rules, and somebody being our eyes and ears to make sure that no one burns the buildings down. So they hire people like me. Now we're worried about rebels. I think we're worried about these Cossacks separatists. A lot of territory just got ceded from Lithuania to the Teutons. That's fun. We'll take that all someday. Poland has announced the Teutonic Order as a rival. Lucky them. Wish I could do that, but I can't. Oh, boy. Anyway, so yeah, resident advisors, they just kind of fulfill that role. They have to hand out citations and make sure everyone follows the rules, and they're supposed to be like community organizers at the same time, like kind of put together events for dorms and kind of, you know, help their residents kind of meet other members of the hall and form a group or whatever. I think that's a dumb qualification of the job because from my experience, college freshmen do not want an RA coming along and saying, hey, so we're going to be having a hall game night, and I think y'all should come meet some people and have... I mean, it's like, if you're a freshman in college, all right, you do not want somebody coming along and arranging a play date for you. You want to be treated like an adult. An adult does what he wants. Not necessarily. There are consequences for doing what they want, as the RAs will so happily point out later, but... they don't want to be patronized, and that's basically exactly what is being required for an RA in my position. This is the part, by the way, where I discovered that Kiev and Galicia something or whatever got released from Lithuania in that last war, so I'm going to position my troops in hopes that eventually when the Regency Council ends, I might be able to just grab Kiev before Poland does. You'll have to watch and see if that ends up being successful or not. Anyway, that's kind of what an RA is, though. We report people, we hand out citations, we penalize... and send people to honor court if they come back to the halls drunk, underage, and all that stuff, or, we make sure everyone knows what the rules are and don't run down the halls with a flaming torch or something stupid like that. That has happened. Blah, blah, blah. But there's a lot of stories you can get out of something like that. We gotta pick a mission. I think we pick up the accumulate money one here because it's easier than making Spain like us. Getting some prestige isn't a bad thing. A lot of stories I could tell about that. I could tell about the times I've had to crash several parties and control that environment, which is always fun. I could talk about the time that I've had students threaten me or try to bribe me. I'm not even happy to say that I did have one female student who I caught, who wasn't even from my school, amazingly enough, but she offered to perform sexual favors for me in order to let her off the hook. That did not happen, by the way, just before anyone takes that too far. I am not scum. I do not take advantage of people like that. I wouldn't even, regardless, simply because, one, that's immoral, but two, I took my job very seriously, because that job paid freaking well. Being an RA is a very lonely job. Like, nobody likes RAs. Well, not nobody. The only people who like RAs are the ones who intended on following the rules to begin with, and they know that the RAs are going to protect them from all the other hooligan freshmen in their hall who want to do stupid things. I'm just going to fabricate some more claims, I think. So, but in the meantime, the same attitude that, people have, oh, F the police. Some people have this kind of, oh, screw the RAs kind of mentality, because they just kind of see us as the same way, It's like, these are a bunch of wannabe cop students who have too much power and blah, blah, blah. No, we're just being paid by the university to fulfill a function. Oh, good, this is an important event. Let's take a break and talk about that. So, previous Tsar left Fyodor without a parent, blah, blah, blah. We're going to have to educate him using an advisor, and this is kind of a nice Regency Council event where we get to pick whether the new heir is going to have increased monarch point generation in admin, diplomatic, or military. Currently we have a 433, so we can improve that. Now, originally I was thinking I was going to go with admin tech at this point, because I want to get another idea group, and I figure I'll probably go with an admin idea group next time, so I figured that could be kind of good. I don't end up going with that, though. I end up doing a diplomatic education for Fyodor, because we are quite behind in diplomatic technology, and we still have a couple ideas to go, so I figure, you know what, why not? Let's make sure we get caught up. So I'm going to end up taking the diplomatic approach, and we'll reap those benefits later. Anyway, RAs. Yeah, nobody gives them any respect, but they do perform kind of an important role. The university certainly values them quite a lot, and they pay quite well. That's why I took the job, because it fits my strengths, because I have had leadership experience in the past, and it ended up paying for my room and board for 2 years, which is like half of my expenses. So it was almost like giving me a free year of college. One of my 4 years being free, that's like 25% off college for doing that job. Heck yeah, I'll take that job, absolutely. I don't care if people like me. It's not really in my nature to care that much. And I'd much rather walk away with significantly less student debt. Oh no, a general died. Not a good one, though. Not the good one, so I don't care that much, but still. Kind of sad. But yeah, no, I've had a lot of interesting experiences in that kind of a role. I've even made other RAs cry, which is fun. Oh, Poland! is declaring war on the Teutonic Order. I remember this now. Yes, so they're going to call us in, and we're like, oh, perfect. I've got some troops right here, ready to go with full maintenance. We can grab those forts and get the war participation, possibly gain some land, because Riga does have claims that we've transferred to them. Perfect. Yes, absolutely, we'll accept this war, and we'll make a beeline for their capital and Memel and everything else. Not a lot goes on in this war, though, because the Teutonic Order has like 8,000 troops that get stomped pretty quickly. So it's a very uneventful war. Just a lot of sieging. Not a lot of war. But anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't regret being an RA, but it was probably one of the worst jobs I had, just in the sense that people treated you like crap. Yeah, I had people really treat me badly for being an RA. It's like, I'm just doing my job, guys. Like, you know the rules. I'm really not here to be a jerk. You know, you don't break the rules, don't break stuff, don't, like, sneak girls into the guy's bathroom, don't try to burn something, don't blah, 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 and we're gonna be fine. Don't show up drunk in the dorm, you know, after coming back from a party, because then I'm obligated to do something about it. I'm like, look, I'm contractually obligated. It's not my fault. You broke the federal law, so, you know, I don't know. But it had its ups and downs. And like I said, yeah, I did manage to make a bunch of RAs cry, which was kind of a feather in my cap sort of moment. Not, okay, it wasn't like I was okay, it's not because I was being mean. I wasn't. Well, I was one time, but that was, okay. When RAs are being trained, right, you got first a bunch of lectures, then you have some reading material, and then by the end of the training session, just before the semester starts, we at least at my school, enacted these kind of real-life scenarios, where freshman RAs would walk into a room, and a bunch of experienced RAs would be, you know, acting out a role, and kind of presenting a scenario that they would use what they learned and try to solve it. So, for example, roommate conflict. A freshman RA walks into a room, and there's two second-year RAs pretending to be students that are having roommate conflict. How do you negotiate this and deal with it? Because that is part of the job, you know, and stuff like that. I got to be one of those actors at some point, and apparently I did a really good job. I won't go into all the details because this is a long-winded story, and this video is only so long, but the result is I had to play a depressed student who was you kind of suspected might be suicidal. It wasn't like so overtly stated, but the concern as the RA going into that room was that this student was depressed to the point of self-harm, and you wanted to kind of talk them down, because that's one of the worst-case scenarios if you are an RA. You know, there's this fear that if you aren't paying attention, you might miss a really important clue that one of your students is depressed, and a suicide is like one of the worst possible things on college campus. It happened. Not to me personally, but I know of, at least like while I was there, I think the entire time I was there in college, like 3 students or so actually did commit suicide. It was terrible. Not together, not all at the same time, but you know, they took that stuff seriously is what I'm trying to say, as an RA. Like, they trained you on that stuff, because you had to be aware. They wanted you to pay attention. So, I had to play a depressed student, and, yeah. Apparently I was very convincing. Like, they had this kind of role where they had to draw me out and kind of make me vulnerable in a non-confrontational way, because the last thing you want to do is make a student feel defensive, because then they never open up to you, and they're not open to help or to resources or anything else. They kind of had to draw me out on that, and then, like, only one group of RAs, I think, managed to actually get me to the point where they were able to successfully ask the question as to whether or not I had contemplated self-harm. And I had, in that case, because, guess what? I had a bottle of pills. It was a very dramatic reveal moment, and blah, blah, blah. I won't go into too many details about that. Guys, before you guys freak out, if you're not listening or kind of half paying attention, I'm not depressed, I'm fine, no, this was in college, this was an acting thing, don't take it too seriously, it was a prop. We're fine, I don't have a bunch of pills, I'm not suicidal. Okay, making sure that people are paying attention here before people freak out. It can happen on the internet, it can happen. But anyway, yeah, apparently though, I was so gosh darn convincing that by the time that skit ended, like 5 female RAs who were in the room just started crying their eyes out. By the way, this is the part of the video where I realized that Poland just screwed me over and took 3 provinces from the Teutonic Order for themselves, and though I had the most war participation by far, gave me and Riga absolutely nothing, even though we did have claims. So this is the part where I kind of vow vengeance upon Poland. Screw you, Poland. I hate you, Poland. I'm going to kill you someday, Poland. That's pretty much what's going on in my head at this point in the video. But anyway. Yeah, no, it was very convincing. They were crying. They're like, it was just so sad. And I wouldn't... Yeah. I don't know. I felt pretty good about it. I mean... I was sad that I made girls cry, but I'm glad that I was a good actor in that moment, you know? Should I be offended by that? Like, should I be concerned that I'm that convincing? I don't know. They certainly were. Because every single one of them individually, and I kid you not, after that training event was over and all the RAs kind of reconvened in the main hall, each of them individually went up to talk to me and to say, one, I did a really good job, but to actually kind of prod and say, are you actually okay? Because that was so convincing, I'm kind of worried that you're actually not okay. Are you depressed? Do you need help? Do you need someone to talk to? A couple of them wanted to give me a hug. They're like, you just made me so sad, I really want to give you a hug. I don't know. It was like, no, guys, I swear, I'm fine. I'm not depressed. I'm okay. I'm a content and happy individual. I promise. I don't know how many of them I was able to convince with that. I feel like maybe not very many. But I gained a reputation that day. It's a pretty decent actor. Very convincing. I had fun, you know? I liked those skits. Those skits were awesome. That was probably the best part of the entire RA job, was that 1 week. Yeah, out of 2 years, that 1 week was probably the best part. Europa derp derp. Oh, Poland joins the Catholic League. That's fun. Not a lot happening still. Regency councils suck, man. I mean, that's why we're just sort of shooting the breeze here. I know this is not my typical video. One, because it's post-commentary. Two, because I'm not actually talking a lot about the game. Because what's there to talk about? We've gotten pulled into a war with Poland, and nothing... I'm sorry, we got pulled on behalf of Poland against the Teutonic Order, and nothing came of it. We've still got 2 years left on our Regency Council, as we can see here. You know, I mean, we can fabricate claims on everybody. We can improve relations with our allies, but that's it. There's just not a lot going on. So I consider the fact that I have to go so off topic to try and make this video even remotely entertaining as a sort of protest to Paradox Interactive and be like, hey, Regency Councils suck and they're boring and they're really long. So now you have to listen to my stories. Yeah. I made RAs cry other times too. Well, one particular. There was another skit that I had to do. It was actually a similar sort of event, but I had to do another skit where I was playing the belligerent student, and oh my gosh, did I give that girl hell? Totally different girl, right? Not the same thing, but man, I'm very good at reading people. People don't know this about me that often, because I kind of keep it hidden, because it's a very valuable strategic asset for me to just know this without, you know, telling everybody in the world. We're going to give this territory off to the Boyars eventually once I do some calculations rather than deal with the regiments and lose the loyalty. Mostly because I don't want to lose the permanent loyalty. And influence is not an issue with our Boyars right now, so. Yeah, no, I'm very good at reading people, and there was a particular issue where I had to be a belligerent student who was doing, like, inappropriate things in the hall and did not want to be corrected and kind of fought back. Very quickly figured out that this particular girl who had to deal with this scenario did not like being out of control. Like, there's just some people, I mean, maybe you've known this, like, there are people you just kind of meet, and they like, not in the sense like they want to be dominant, like they want to be the center of attention, but like they really can't handle it when people challenge them and fight them. Like, if they feel like they're in a position of authority, they really want you to respect that, and if you don't, it upsets them to no small end, right? Have you ever met people like that? Because I've definitely met people like that. Well, this was one of those particular girls. I don't know if she was overcompensating because she was in a very aggressive leadership position, and she thought maybe because she was a girl she had to do that. I don't know if it was just her personality. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, she came in really aggressive, so I decided to give her hell for it. And I was the most belligerent freaking student. I was infuriating. Oh gosh, I was a brat. I mean, it was all acting, of course. Like, I'm not a bad person. I'm really not. She didn't believe me afterwards. But I went out of my way to push as many buttons as possible and infuriate her and then just leave her, you know, standing there dumbfounded with no idea what to do. And I did that not because I'm a jerk and she just rubbed me the wrong way and I'm like, you know what, I don't like you. I'm going to make this training experience horrible for you. I'm like, no, you need to know as an RA, if you're going to approach students like this, be prepared. You're going to run into people like this and you need to know how to handle them. It was all a training experience for me, but she took it very personally. Oh, look at this. Someone was studying technology against us. Somebody took, an AM took, espionage ideas. That's fun. But anyway. Yeah. Which is really sad for me, honestly, because I did actually try to date that girl later. Like, I tried to talk to her for a while. We actually texted each other a lot in the months to follow. Went on a couple of lunch dates, then quickly decided, you know, it's not going to work. Not one, because we didn't have a lot in common, but two, because she really did not let that event go. And I don't mean like in the sense like she was still feeling really offended, as much as she didn't believe me when I said, yeah, that's not who I am, I swear. She's like, no, you have to be. There has to be part of you that's good with that. I don't know. It was unfortunate, but I'm okay with that because had I been dating her, I might not have met my wife. All right, so we're going to be wrapping this video up, but at this point we pick up some military tech. We're going to upgrade our cavalry to southern Cossacks, I think it is, because I like the shock value. And we did pick up the next round of admin tech, but I'm not going to do anything with the next idea group in this video quite yet, because I hadn't quite made up my mind. But I did want to take an admin tech group, or idea group, I just wasn't sure what to do with it. But we'll cover that in the next video. So this was an odd video, I'm aware, I apologize, but I think we can get back to our normal regiment after this, so I hope you enjoyed the video all the same. If you did, be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And I, as always, will see you guys next time.